Welcome back. In the last video, we cleared out the side of Grimforge that we arrive on, and in this video we're going to finish the job. And we're going to start from the ledge overhang, looking out over Elder Brithvar and Stoneguard Kerr. And Stoneguard Kerr is going to be our first target. We'll start off by casting Guidance to help us with stealth, crouch down, and start shooting at Stoneguard Kerr. And as soon as we're in combat, we'll go ahead and go to Cunning Action Hide and end our turn. We're going to want to make a note of where the dwarves are when they start, because, well, they'll not move as long as we're consistent about hiding at the end of our turn. And some of the Mine Masters, this guy for instance, will remain invisible until they've got a good attack, and they'll do a charm. So we'll want to keep an eye on them. Now, even if for some reason we get hit a bunch and Astarion even dies, it's no problem. We'll just hit camp and have Withers bring him back and then finish the job. So again, Cunning Action Hide, make sure that we're hiding, end the turn. She's going to go invisible, he'll enlarge. This one's going to go invisible. The enlarge has a duration, and so over the course of this fight, most of the enemies will lose their original buffs, whether that's enlarge or reduce. But the invisibility is going to last until they reveal themselves, or until we use a consumable to reveal them. So this archer has disappeared, so we're going to need to see what we've got to throw. While we're looking at the screen, we looted the rune powder. We'll go ahead and send our rune powder to camp. Just to get it out of our inventory. We'll take the Alchemist Fire, move it to Astarion, who's just disguised still as a gnome. And with Astarion, we'll set up a throw and get the area where that archer was. And when they light on fire, they'll be revealed. And again, we'll just use Cunning Action Hide. Now, some of these characters, when they're on fire, the archers will have thunder arrows and will actually try to shoot and knock their allies out of the fire. So we may see that, and if you do see one of them shoot themselves, that's what's going on there. And this is a battle of patience more than anything else. So as long as we're consistent about hiding at the end of our turn, they're not going to be able to attack us, because for this whole fight, the shadow that Astarion's leaving, this invisible ghostly shadow, is too far away for them to path correctly to it, right? So in order to get here, they'd have to jump this ledge, come over, jump over, and come back. And they don't understand how to make that. It's too many rounds of movement. Let's see if we've got a shot on Brithvar from here.
Let's find some prey.
So the course of this fight is basically going to be where we're at, and then we're going to ourselves move up and around and then onto the same platform that we used to jump down to the Ancient Forge section of Grimforge. And this is another place where we'd have a slightly better hit value if we had leveled up. If we were a Gloomstalker Ranger, we would have the archery ability, which would give us a +2 to that. We would just hit more often, but it's not going to be a real change in how long this fight will take, just a round or two.
Just like old times.
There's also a sort of an interesting glitch in implementation here where you can set up a keybind for ping, and you can ping on portraits. So if you set up a keybind for ping and then you ping on an invisible character's portrait, you'll see a ping marker show up where they're hiding. And because you can do that, you could just aim your ranged weapon straight at them. I think that that is probably a legitimate glitch, so we're not going to use it. We're just going to use where they were when we started, and then if they've moved for some reason because we make a mistake, we'll just try to deduce that or become visible and let them take a shot at us. So again, we're going to crouch down, and now that the two back here are downed, we're going to head around the corner. Our next target is going to be the archer here that turned invisible, and we'll work on the back three and then move up forward. Here, a thief might be a little faster at this section because the extra bonus action allows for the bonus action dash to get around while still hiding at the end of the round. But they would have had a lot more trouble with the section near the cave-in because they would not have had access to minor illusion. So the access to minor illusion and disguise and jump and feather fall are worth losing the extra bonus action, in my opinion. And that's going to be somewhat dependent. If you do a lot of combat with a rogue, you might find that the extra bonus action, which could be an offhand attack with a dagger or a hand crossbow, is more worth it for you. So we know that the archer disappeared somewhere around here. We're just going to throw it in the area and then hide.
On the hunt.
Now, this archer might get shot at. Yeah, this looks like this one going to take a pot shot and try to knock him out with the arrow of thunder. They saved, so they didn't move. And this archer is so close to us, we're actually going to get sneak attack damage on them.
Let's do it.
And then double check our sight cone and then hide.
Time for a new.
And when I'm double checking the sight cone, I'm hitting shift on my keyboard. You might have a different bind for that. And I'm going to hit tilde so I can see the outlines a little easier.
They won't know what bit them.
Kind of amusingly, you can see a dwarf that's not in the combat just sort of wandering around. It can be difficult to get Thud here even added to the combat, so even if we shoot directly at them during this combat, they won't always join. Oftentimes, if you down one of the dwarves while Thud is close to them, they'll join, as they appear to be linked at that point. And we'll come up here, and this is where we're going to do most of the rest of this. Now, kind of important, I'm not using the rogue's bonus action dash to move around because that's a temptation to forget that it's also your hide. So if you use that bonus action dash and then you shoot, you won't be able to hide, which would be problematic. That's going to trigger everybody to move and come towards you. And this archer in the back is so far back that we're not able to target them. So when the rest of the dwarves are downed, we're going to become visible and draw them in, and then go back to hiding.
Leave no trace.
The rounds that we're waiting get a little shorter each time we remove one of the dwarves from the combat. Some of them are harder to hit than others.
Ready or not.
So armor classes vary. So stealth archery is pretty good so long as you're far away and difficult to get to. So attacking from high ledges where there's not a clear path to get to them works really well. If I were to try hiding and I was within reach of these opponents, they would just rush to where the outline was. So if my outline was, say, where this archer is standing with a ladder going up, they'd rush the ladder and come right up. So the trick to this mechanic is to make sure that where you're shooting from is inconveniently distant. In lots of places where there's a bowl to shoot into, there is a spot like this that's harder to get to. This is an advantage that the Arcane Trickster has over the Thief or Assassin Rogue, and that with Feather Fall and Enhanced Sleep, they're able to get to those places a lot easier. All right, so we'll move on to the Sergeant.
Now they see me. Sounds like fun. Just like old times.
And the Mind Masters will cast Reduce on themselves, making it a lot more difficult to hit them. We can address that. We've got a ring, the Whispering Promise, that we stole from Volo earlier, that if we were to equip it and then burn healing potions as a bonus action, we can get bonus to hit for a couple of rounds, but we then need to work around the bonus actions that we're using to consume the potions, which are the same bonus actions we need to hide. So we'd be in a business very similar to what we were doing with the mimics earlier, where we're putting our weapon on fire and then bouncing back and forth every other turn, trying to get the damage and hiding worked out.
We'll do it my way.
Right, and here they cast Reduce. So we're going to be significantly less likely to hit them. And we can see on their portrait they've got Witness. That's saying that they were witness to us murdering people, and if you're around witnesses, they'll identify you, and then you'll go hostile with the rest of the folks that are associated with them. That's not going to matter here pretty soon. These are the last dwarves that are around in Grimforge.
Let's have a little fun.
All right, so this individual here is problematic. So we want to hit them, but we don't want to hit the gnomes that are near them. All right, so we're going to try to throw some alchemist fire, and we want to make sure that when we do that, we don't hit the gnomes, especially Barkus, because he's a useful vendor and a quest giver. And so we can see the gnome moves away, this guy is revealed, and we'll hide again.
Leave no trace.
And this one guy, Thud, is just kind of walking around watching all of this go down, not concerned.
The subtle approach.
And again, reduced, harder to hit.
We'll do it my way.
And the Mind Masters are really the most dangerous opponents if you're doing this with a group. They cast Charm, which is a real problem. And now we've got Thud in the fight. Thud's pretty far back. Rar is pretty far back. We're going to bait them into coming closer to us, so we're just going to step back a little bit and not crouch down. We're just going to end our turn. And we're still too distant, so we'll do that again. And we see that they're going to dash to get close, because that's going to bring them to within attack distance. So we're going to need to be mindful that they can't see up onto the platform. We'll take a pot shot and crouch.
They won't know what bit them. Let's find some prey.
And it looks like one more shot, hopefully for our archer here. Nope. Anytime I say that, that's a guaranteed miss.
Into the shadows.
The enlarge actually makes them easier to hit.
Ready or not.
Certainly easier to get your mouse over in any case.
On the hunt.
So after the dwarves are dead, we're going to need to get some smoke powder
They won't
to
know what bit them.
blow up the cave-in, and then we can deal with Nere. Again, there's a political thing that we can do. We could have negotiated with the dwarves and attempted to split the factions and generate a big fight in this area. We're not going to do that. We're actually not even going to talk to Nere. We agreed to kill him before we even came here.
The subtle approach.
I will say, if we did, the bard dialogue choices for Nere are pretty funny. If you're not playing on honor mode and can save and go back, it can be worth freeing Nere and just going and chatting with him. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we can loot here, and the place we're going to start is right here. We're going to go back down to where we came in because we need smoke powder satchels. And some of these guys have bombs. There's a invisibility ring and a few other things. And even after we're done with Nere, we still have a few things to do. We're going to bring Shadowheart here to advance her personal quest. This guy would have had a bomb, but he threw it at us. That's why we got hurt. That was my mistake in not being stealthed at the end of a round. When we come over here, the gnome is going to talk to us and thank us for freeing them.
Shit! You did it! What now?
We'll take option 1.
I know a place. Across the lake. Should be safe. Won't be needing this poison now that you've offed the pricks. Bet you'll find it handy, though. You're a good one. I won't forget it.
So he was planning on poisoning those two anyway. These two guys that were throwing all the slaughtered gnomes into the water. This guy's got a bomb. We'll take that. This body will start a cutscene.
Deep gnomes killed under the yoke of slavers.
This is Astarion, so we'll just say no shops on the fugue plane. On this gnome, we'll find the invisibility ring and get a little experience for that. Run back over to this door, and we'll find a couple of smoke powder satchels back here. There's a secret button. This check is really easy, but you don't always make it. If not, just bring another character. You can use the guidance amulet if you want to, but we should be able to locate it. Let's grab all of that. And what we really want here is these two smoke powder satchels. And just to save time, I'll map travel back to the Grimforge waypoint just across the way here. And we can take a look at all the rest of the dwarves. Nothing worthwhile. I'll take a look at the vendor. He's got some scrolls. And we've got this person, but there still have been no witnesses. So they're noticing that there's been a thief. We'll deal with them in a second. We'll grab the items off of the dwarves that are here. The sergeants got the boots that we gave them, got the other quest reward we didn't choose. Drar, if they haven't used the thunder arrow to try to knock someone out, we'll still have that. Alright, so that's that. We'll take care of the last dwarven guard. So we're going to cast our jump effects.
We'll try this.
And we'll just get into a good position to shoot from. This is not a great one. I think up here will be pretty good. Let's see, where are they at? See if we can lock them in place. And it looks like the line of sight is broken by this upraise. So we'll just let them path around. We can probably hit them here. So we'll cunning action hide just in case. Try and get did not work. I must have attacked the wrong spot. All right. We're doing great on our stealth checks, even if we're not doing great on our hit checks. And we'll jump down. There's a potion.
What's this?
And some boxes that we could take a look at with, I
Don't
think,
mind if I
random
do.
stuff in them. And then up on this ledge we'll find a scroll of web. Alright, so now we're going to free Nere, and then we're going to kill Nere. Alright, so we'll come up here, we're going to split the smoke powder stack. I've had a couple of occasions where setting this off did not destroy it, and it caused a little bit of trouble trying to find other things that are capable of damaging the rock slide, so I'm going to use one at a time. Astarion has Firebolt. We've used that in the past. We're just going to go ahead and shoot it. And took most of it out. We're going to use the second smoke powder satchel, but we're going to wait until this fire clears off. And the gnomes are pretty good about getting back away. So again, we'll just target the satchel. And we can see Nere. And the cutscene starting to play out. We can see Nere's running out. And if we stand there, we're going to get caught in a cutscene. But we just want him to kind of come out and stand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right back to where we were. And line up a shot on him. Now, one of the interesting bits about Nere in Honor Mode is that it encourages you to only attack him once around. As a reaction, he's going to prompt some mirror images that will damage you if you hit them. Let's take a look. So he can use his legendary action to cast Sonic Visage on himself, and then when he's attacked, these things detonate and they can cause a lot of damage. This means that you want to use area of effect attack, so you could use Shatter or Fireball or something like that after the first hit on a round. As it is, we're just going to have Astarion shoot him essentially once a round. Cast Guidance, and off to the races. Alright, so now we're in combat. Double check our line of sight and hide. And if you're uncomfortable, you can even step back a little bit.
Heretic! You strike me and suffer.
And we'll step back and shoot. And we crit miss. Great way to start the fight. We'll hit him. You can see he casts these mirror images. If you attack him again, they'll blow up. They'll do damage. They do knockback.
Leave no trace.
Just like the dwarves, he doesn't know where to go.
We'll do it my way. Let's find some prey. Now they see me.
1 hit point. Good job, buddy. And that's it. The end of Nere. So that's where we're going to end this video. In the next one, we're going to bring Shadowheart here and do the last bit of looting and cleanup that we are due. We're going to talk to Barkus and the gnomes and finish up Grimforge. I will see you there.